So if you're ready to get started, we'll just hit play on our playlist. And then we're going to start in a seated meditation. So you can sit cross-legged, or if you like, you can sit in a modified virasana. So just sitting on a block between your ankles or sitting back on your heels. And once you get all the wiggles out and you've settled in to a comfortable seat, just close the eyes. You can rest your palms wherever is comfortable. And see if you can just start to check in. Noticing your internal landscape. Just finding a little bit of self-observation here in the first few moments of class. Noticing as if you breathe, if anything feels tight or sticky. Noticing where your energy is this evening. And clearing out any thoughts that maybe followed you into your yoga practice. As you continue to just breathe and observe the breath, observe the internal body, start to check in with the posture. See if you can sit nice and tall, just allowing the crown of the head to grow out and up from the base of the spine. So if you could imagine there was this long line of energy coming down from the center of the universe, down through the crown of the head, the throat, the heart space, the belly, pelvis, all the way through the floor, through the ground, all the way to the center of the earth. See if you can find a nice, tall posture along that line of energy. But at the same time, just let everything be easeful. So the facial muscles are relaxing. The shoulders are relaxing down the back. And just bring your palms together to touch and just start to rub the palms together. So we're creating a little bit of friction between the hands. You'll start to feel the palms warming up. You'll continue to kind of pick up the pace, just building that energy between the palms of the hands. And then keeping the eyes closed, just cup the hands over the eyeball sockets. Maybe tuck the chin towards the heart slightly. And see if you can sort of breathe into this space, feeling the breath moving towards the back of the skull. Letting the eyeballs soften even more into the sockets. Starting to calm the breath, soothe the nervous system here. And then gently return the hands to heart center, palms touching, Atman Anjali Mudra. And just start to find an even breath in and out of the nose. If you want to take Ujjayi Pranayama, finding that slight constriction in the back of the throat, you can. But for this practice today, if you just want to find that even breath in and out of the nose, that also works. And so as you continue to breathe, just take a moment here to set an intention for your practice today. Maybe you're looking to feel more rooted, calm the mind, or detach from some of the thoughts that may have buried themselves in your mind. Just do some searching to figure out what you need out of this next 90 minutes together. And see if you can ground yourself in that intention. And take a deep breath in to seal in your intentions. And a big exhale, letting it go. And gently blink the eyes open, letting some light in. We're going to start class today in deer pose. So you're going to bring your left leg behind you so that your heel is towards your glutes. And you're going to bring the sole of the right foot just on top of the left thigh. And if you need to scoot that right sitting bone out from underneath you and sit back down, you can. If you need to sit up on a pillow, if that feels better on the knees, you can. And we're just going to start by inhale, sitting nice and tall, maybe puffing up through the chest and heart space. And then as you exhale, you're just going to walk the hands forward and just fold over. If you want to rest your forehead on a block or whatever props you have at home, sometimes that's a nice way to just let the weight of the skull release and all the surrounding muscles relax. And keep grounding and rooting both sitting bones down and back. And with every breath, let the entire upper body all the way down to the hips breathe with you. So imagining maybe you're like a jellyfish. Every inhale, the body's expanding, the muscles are stretching, creating space. And every exhale, everything's softening back in. And then gently start to walk the hands over to the right. Maybe eventually getting both forearms down outside the right thigh. Just find a little side body stretch. Still rooting that left hip down towards the mat. And then gently walk the hands up. And then we'll switch sides. So you'll bring the left shin forward, right heel towards the right glute, and the top of the left foot on top of the right thigh. We'll start by inhaling, sitting nice and tall, lifting up through the spine. And then as you exhale, you'll start to walk the palms forward. Again, if you want to rest your forehead on a block or whatever props you might have that can add a little bit of height, feel free to do so. Or just allow the chin to melt towards the heart space, letting the jaw release and the cheekbones hollow out here. Every inhale, send the breath all the way back to the hips. And every exhale, just soften in, seeing if you can start to dissipate any extra tension that might still be lingering in the upper body. And then when you're ready, just go ahead and walk the hands over to the left. They can be at a diagonal, or if it feels okay to go all the way perpendicular to the body, you can. Maybe even getting the forearms down. And still trying to root through that right hip here. So you're finding more length through that right side body. And then send the breath into that stretch. And then gently walk the hands up. And then we're going to come into a tabletop position on all fours. So bring your shoulders to stack over your wrists, hips to stack over your knees. We're going to start with some cat-cows here to warm up the spine. So spread the fingers nice and wide. As you inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, cow pose. And then as you exhale, start to round and curl through the spine, lengthening the tailbone down towards the backs of the knees. Good. Inhale, cow pose, broaden across the chest. And exhale, cat pose. Draw navel in towards the spine. Good. One more like this. Inhale, cow. Let the breath amplify the movement. And at the top of the inhale, find the top of your cow. And then exhale, start to curl into your cat, pressing all the air out of the lungs. Good. And then find a neutral spine. You're going to turn the fingers to face back towards the knees. And we'll find cat-cow once again. It might be a little more subtle. So we'll inhale, drop the belly, lift through the heart, broaden the chest. And exhale, round and curl. Good. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. So we're stretching the extensor muscles in the wrist now. Good. One more. Inhale, cow. Hold your cow and then start to sit the hips backwards in space, just feeling a deeper stretch through the forearms. And then if you want, you can start to sit even further back, peeling the heels of the hands off of the mat, extending the stretch into the fingertips. And all those muscles in the forearms always run all the way through, all the way to the fingers. They're all connected. So just extending the stretch even deeper. And then gently come back and flip to the tops of the hands. And we'll just stretch the other way to get a nice counter stretch. Should feel pretty good. Try to straighten through the elbows. And then flip the palms back down. You're going to find a neutral spine and then stamp the right foot up towards the sky. So the knees pointing down, you have equal weight in the hands, almost like you're trying to split the mat in half with your hands. So the upper back and shoulders are active. But as you inhale, you're going to open up through the hips. So bring the knee out to the right. Good. Externally rotating through the hip. And as you exhale, re-square the hip, pointing it down, stamping the foot towards the sky. Good. Inhale, open the hip. It's sort of like those fire, I think they call it fire hydrants in a normal workout class. And one more inhale. This time you're going to extend the leg out to the right. Try not to shift all your weight into that left hand, equal weight in the hands. You should feel the outer glute really working. And then set the foot down. You're going to press into your left hand. Inhale, right arm high to the sky. Peel the chest open. And exhale, thread the needle You can bring your right head to any props you have, or maybe all the way down to the mat. And if you want, you can extend the left fingertips out in front of you, or if you want to take a half bind here, wrapping around for that right hip crease, you can. Now it's easy to collapse in that right hip, so just nudge the right hip a little bit more to the right and draw that left hip back. Take a deep breath in. Big exhale. And one more round of breath. Inhale here. And exhale, gently release. Left hand down. Inhale, right arm high, open up through the chest. And exhale, set the hand down. And bring the right knee back into tabletop. So we'll do the other side. Equal weight in the hands. You'll inhale, stamp the left foot up towards the sky, trying to keep that knee and hip square down. Hold for the exhale, broadening across the upper back. But as you inhale, draw the knee over to the left, finding that external rotation. And then as you exhale, re-square the hip. Good. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Try to keep equal weight in the hands. Last one. Inhale, open up to the left. As you exhale, you'll extend the leg and try to hold it there. And try not to shift all your weight into this right hand. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, plant the foot. This time, weight in the right hand. Inhale, left arm high to the sky. Peel the chest open. And exhale, thread the needle, bringing left ear to any props you have, or maybe the mat. You can extend those right fingertips forward, or maybe reach all the way around for that left hip crease. So again, think about nudging that left hip to the left, right hip back so the hips stay level. Deep breath in. Big exhale. Another round. Inhale here. And then exhale, gently release, right hand down. And inhale, left arm high to the sky. Exhale, set it down, find your tabletop. You'll walk your hands a palm print forward in space. Tuck the toes as you breathe in. And then lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog as you breathe out. So feel free to take some organic movement for these first few moments. Maybe pedaling out your dog, bending right knee, then left. Or maybe rolling the heels side to side, finding a little bit more length through each side body. And eventually settling in, drawing the heels down and back. And maybe bend the knees, find a little more lift up through the tailbone, lengthen through the side bodies, and keeping all that length, start to draw the heels back down. Good. Keep hugging the outer upper arm bones in towards one another. And drawing the low ribs up and in. Deep breath in. Big exhale. Good. Inhale, lift through the upper inner thighs, drawing them back. And exhale, settle in. On your next inhale, you'll gaze forward, bend the knees, and start to walk the feet forward in space, letting them arrive about hips width distance apart in ragdoll. You'll grab opposite elbows or biceps, keeping a generous bend in the knees here. Just sway side to side. Just let the brain be really heavy in the skull here, letting the entire skull release down, the jaw relax, the neck and shoulders. So even when we're inverted, think about sending the breath all the way up and back towards the hips. And then gently release, fingertips down to the mat. You can bring the feet together to touch or keep them hips width distance apart. Little bend in the knees. And then gently start to round up, stacking one vertebra on top of the next. The crown of the head's going to be the last to arrive here. And when you arrive, roll the palms to face forward, broadening across the chest. Good. Inhale, extend arms up overhead. Urdhva Hastasana, high prayer. As you exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Good. Next inhale, you're going to step back, find a high plank position. Good. In your high plank position, start to shift forward and back a few times. Just feeling the heels rolling forward and back, the shoulders passing the wrists and going behind them. And then find that equal point. So shoulders are right over the wrists, heels are over the toes. Contract through the thighs. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lower all the way down, scraping the sides of the ribs with the elbows as you lower. Untuck the toes. Inhale, Bhujangasana, baby cobra. Keep pressing through the pinky toe edge of the feet. And exhale, forehead releases to the mat. Good. Tuck the toes here as you inhale, press the hips back, child's pose with tucked toes. And exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Big exhale. Reconnecting to your intention, another deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. Good. Next inhale, float the right leg high to the sky. Good. As you exhale, you're going to bend the knee and find a half scorpion shape as you shift forward. So toe comes towards the head, shoulders come over the wrist. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, right leg high. And then exhale, step it all the way through, finding a runner's lunge. So you can come to your fingertips here. I like to have my hands on blocks. We're gonna shift forward and back between a runner's lunge and a pyramid pose. So you're gonna inhale, lower the hips, lift through the heart. And as you exhale, draw the hips back, pyramid, Parsvottanasana. Good. Inhale, come forward. If you want to take this deeper, you'll roll to the outer edge of the foot. Let the knee come out to the side. Tack in with your knees, though, if you take this option. Exhale, pyramid. Good. Two more. Inhale. Really connecting the breath. And exhale. Good. Last one. Inhale. Roll the chest forward. And exhale, pyramid. Good. Inhale, rebend the knee, find a runner's lunge. And then you're going to plant the left hand down on the mat or your block. And inhale the right arm high to the sky. Good. Now think about drawing that right hip crease back. Feel this through the outer hip. From here, you're going to turn all 10 toes to face to the right. Roll to the outer edges of the feet. And reach that right hand back, sitting the hips low. So horizon pose. You can even gaze back towards that right thumb. But try not to sink into this left shoulder. So press through the left hand. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, start to straighten the legs and reach forward. So getting into the IT band. Good. Exhale, lower the hips, reach back. Inhale, reach forward, straighten through the legs. Good. Exhale, lower, gaze back. Listen close this time. As you exhale or inhale, you're going to sweep the arm forward. Walk your hands over to the left through Prasarita, and then to face the back of the mat in your runner's lunge. Good. As you inhale, step back, high plank. Exhale, lower down all the way onto the belly. Untuck the toes. Inhale, Bhujangasana, baby cobra. And exhale, forehead to the mat. Good. Tuck the toes as you inhale, toes tucked, child's pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths. Inhale here. And exhale, empty out. Keep the legs nice and active. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale, fill up. And exhale, let it go. Next inhale, you'll sweep the left leg high to the sky. As you exhale, you're gonna bend the knee, come forward and find a half scorpion in your high plank. So toe towards the head. Good, inhale, re-extend the leg. And as you exhale, knee to nose. So it's sort of like emulating that cat-cow motion. Inhale, left leg high. And exhale, step the foot through the hands, runner's lunge. So again, you can come up onto your fingertips or hands on blocks. Think about lifting the torso off of the thigh if it's resting there and hugging the left hip back. So again, finding these lunges to pyramid, we're gonna inhale, lower the hips, sort of find a little bit of a cow pose. Then exhale, draw the hips back, Parsvottanasana pyramid. Good, inhale, roll forward, rebend the knee. If you wanna roll to the outer edge of the foot and bring the knee out to the left, you can. Exhale, draw the hips back. Good, 2 more, inhale, moving with the breath. Exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale, pulls the hip back in space. This time, inhale, bend the knee, find your runner's lunge. Plant the right fingertips down on the mat or a block. And inhale, left arm high to the sky, rolling the chest open. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, you'll roll to the outer edges of the feet, turning all 10 toes to point to the left. But you'll reach the left fingertips back, gaze back. This is a really deep outer thigh stretch. Good. As you inhale, reach the arm forward, start to straighten through the legs, IT band stretch. And exhale, draw the hand back, lower the hips. So move nice and slow. This might be an intense stretch for some of us. Inhale, lift the hips. It doesn't have to straighten all the way. Exhale, reach back, gaze back. Good, one more, inhale. Exhale. Good, this time as we inhale, we're gonna sweep the left arm all the way up and over, moving through Prasarita, wide-legged forward fold, and walking the hands all the way to a runner's lunge at the front of the mat. Inhale, step back, high plank. Exhale, lower all the way down. Untuck the toes, inhale, Bhujangasana. And exhale, forehead releases. This time, tuck the toes firm through the fronts of the thighs. Scoop the low belly off the mat by slightly tucking the tailbone. And then option, instead of child's pose to down dog, maybe try to press up through a high plank. Then lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Good, deep breath in. Big exhale. Another round, inhale, fill up. And exhale, let it go. Good, final deep breath in. And exhale, side out. Next inhale, you'll gaze forward, bend the knees. And as you exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. We'll inhale, one breath, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, palms by the sides, they face forward, Tadasana. The next inhale, sit the butt back, reach the arms high to the sky, Utkatasana chair pose. Good, gaze down, make sure you can see all 10 toes. If you can't, shift the weight back a little bit more into the heels. Good, you can even try flexing the toes towards the shin to really ground down through the soles of the feet. Good, hands come to heart center, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, find Pravrita Utkatasana, a chair twist to the right. So your left elbow will come outside the right knee. Think about eventually getting the hips a little bit higher than the heart. And check in if that left knee is coming forward in front of the right. See if you can nudge the left hip back a little bit more. Good. Inhale, back through chair. And exhale, twist to the left, right elbow outside the left knee. Again, trying to get the heart higher than the hips eventually. Good. Keep nudging that right hip back so that the right knee isn't inching forward in front of the left. Good. Inhale, back through chair. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Good. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, fold. Good. This time, inhale, step back, find a high plank position. And as you exhale, option for Chaturanga. So we'll shift forward, lower halfway, elbows over wrist. Inhale, upward facing dog, knees lift off the mat. And exhale, downward facing dog. A deep breath in. Big exhale. Another round, inhale here. And exhale, let it go. And next inhale, float the right leg high to the sky. And as you exhale, step the foot between the hands, runner's lunge. At this time, spin the back foot down, maybe toe heel the right foot an inch or so out to the right. And then rise up, Virabhadrasana 1. Right, so you want to keep shoulders over the hips here. Try to find that perpendicular shin to the mat, so knee over ankle. Good, arms reach up, pinky fingers spiral in, externally wrapping through the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Good, as you exhale, bring the hands to heart center, hinge the chest forward. So we're gonna move into a deeper twist here. You're gonna start to revolve over to the right and hook the left elbow outside the knee. So revolve side angle. If this is too much, just come to the ball of the back foot. So you're in a revolved high lunge. Otherwise, try to keep that back foot grounded. Now, if your hands are closer to your right armpit, see if you can press into the elbow. Extend through the side bodies to bring the hands closer to the heart. Good. 3 deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Press to the outer edge of the back foot. Exhale. The last one. Inhale here. Big exhale. Next inhale, you'll open the arms and come open to your warrior 2. So right knee over the ankle, shoulders over the hips, maybe gaze tracing over the right fingertips. Good, take a deep breath in, settling in. And a big exhale. Good, feel both heels drawing in towards one another. So the inner thighs are really working here. Good, last breath in warrior 2, deep breath in. And big exhale. Then gaze down in front of the right toes. As you inhale, you'll start to shift the weight forward into the right foot. And then move into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. So right hand will find its way to the mat or a block, or maybe be floating off of the mat. Left hand can be on the hip or up towards the sky. A deep breath in. Keep lifting up through the shin and right thigh. Big exhale. Good. 2 more breaths. Inhale here. See if you can relax the right toes as you exhale. And last deep breath. Inhale. And then as you exhale, generously bend through the right knee to gently land the back foot, warrior 2. Good. Straighten the front leg. Inhale, reverse triangle. And exhale, windmill the arms down. Step back, move through Chaturanga or any vinyasa variation you like. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. A deep breath in through the nose here. Open mouth, exhale. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale here. And exhale, let it go. Next inhale, left leg comes high to the sky. And as you exhale, step the foot between the hands, runner's lunge. You'll spin the back foot down, toe heel the left foot out to the left an inch. And inhale, sweep the arms up, Virabhadrasana 1. So again, starting shoulders over hips, but still lunging that left knee to stack over the ankle. Keep pressing through the outer edge of the back foot. Lift up through the inner arch of the foot. Good, spiral the pinky fingers in, deep breath in. Big exhale. Good, inhale, hands come to heart center. Hinge forward. And as you exhale, revolve side angle. Hook the right elbow outside the left knee. Now again, if this is too much, spin to the ball of the back foot, finding revolved high lunge. So Parvrita Anjaneyasana instead. Good, keep pressing through the outer edge of the back foot. Again, the hand likes to hang out near the armpit. See if you can lift up through the torso, press through the elbow, and work the hands a little bit closer to the heart space. Keep pulling that left hip crease back. A deep breath in. Exhale, see if you can soften through the facial muscles. 2 more, inhale. Relax the toes. Exhale. The last one, inhale here. Soften the belly as you exhale. Good, open the arms, inhale, open up, warrior 2. Bend through that front knee, shoulders stack over the hips. Gaze tracks along the left fingertips. Good, and again, knee is over ankle, and then you're pressing through the outer edge of the back foot. You can think about drawing the heels in towards one another to really fire up through the inner thighs and lift through the pelvic floor as well. Good, take a deep breath in. Big exhale. Good, next inhale, gaze in front of the left toes. And as you exhale, start to shift weight forward into the left foot. Finding Ardha Chandrasana, half moon, so stacking right hip on top of left. Left hand can be on a block or the mat or floating. Right hand can be on the hip or up towards the sky. So I think about reaching through that back heel out through the crown of the head. Deep breath in. And big exhale. So even as we're holding and we're balancing, the breath is still moving. Another expansive breath. And big exhale. Good, one more inhale. Exhale, bend through the front knee. The more you bend, the easier it is to land softly. Warrior 2. Good, you'll straighten the front leg. Inhale, reverse triangle. And exhale, windmill the arms down. Chaturanga Dandasana. You can always skip this and go straight to down dog. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. So just a little bit more active hip opening before we move into our yin portion of class. So take a deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Let some heat go. Good, 2 more, inhale. And exhale. Last one, biggest breath, inhale. And exhale, let it go. And inhale, float the right leg high to the sky. And as you exhale, step the foot between the hands, runner's lunge. As you inhale, lift up high crescent lunge, shoulders over hips. We're on the ball of the back foot this time, heel is over toes. You're gonna focus your drishti or gaze at one point in front of you. Press through the right foot, and inhale, lift the left knee up towards the chest. So Eka Pada Tadasana. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, bend the right knee, cross left knee over the right, finding eagle legs. And then from here, you'll bring left arm underneath the right. You can eagle wrap the arms or modify by grabbing opposite shoulders. You can also modify eagle legs by stepping on top of a block so you can help with the balance. Good. Final little trick here is the lower you sit, the easier it is to find that double wrap eventually. Good. Take a deep breath in, lift the elbows a little higher. Big exhale, reach the hands a little bit further forward. Good. Inhale. Come back to your Eka Pada Tadasana. And as you exhale, you'll bend the right knee and try to gently land that back foot right back into your high crescent lunge. Good. Deep breath in here, lifting through the heart. Exhale, plant the palms. Listen close. As you continue to exhale, you'll bring the left foot out to the left. So you're making an L shape. Now, instead of opening up like we normally would into a fallen triangle, you're just gonna keep lowering the hips down. Keep the chest facing towards the mat. Maybe stay here or work your way onto your forearms. You can rest your head in your hands or maybe on a block if you have one. Or maybe start to come all the way down, finding a prone, twisted Padangusthasana. Maybe even grabbing that right foot with the left hand. Good. 3 deep breaths. Inhale. Should feel this in the outer hip and IT band. Exhale. Good. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale here. And then exhale, walk the hands back. You're gonna lift up through the chest first, and then press through the hands to lift the hips. Listen close, you'll bring the knee back towards the chest and step it back through between the hands as you exhale. Inhale, gaze in front of the right foot, find your standing splits, shifting the weight forward, just for 1 breath. As you exhale, you'll bend the left knee, bend the right knee, and the left knee will tuck behind the right, so Jiva squat. Now you can come to your fingertips, maybe hands on blocks to lift the chest a little higher. Or maybe you'll have your hands behind you, really firing up through that right hamstring. Good. Take 1 more deep breath in. As you exhale, you'll lower all the way down, setting up for a seated twist. So your right foot should be outside the left thigh, right heel towards the right glute. Right hand will come behind the sacrum. Inhale, left arm high to the sky. As you exhale, find your twist. So either hooking the elbow outside the knee or just hugging around that right knee. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, trace the gaze back. Try not to strain that gaze though. So just finding the natural range of motion. And 1 more round of breath. Inhale here. And exhale, twisting through that thoracic middle spine. And come back to center. Good. You're gonna plant the palms, step the left leg back, runner's lunge. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, optional chaturanga. Good. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. So only 1 more side standing here. Take a deep breath in. Settle in. Big exhale. Good. 2 more. Inhale here. Ground down through all 10 knuckles. Exhale. Good. Last round of breath. Make it your biggest. Inhale. And exhale, let it all go. Good. On your next inhale, float the left leg high. And exhale, step it all the way through runner's lunge. Inhale, high crescent lunge, shoulders over hips. Good. Reach the arms up towards the sky. Good. As you exhale, focus your gaze at 1 point in front of you. And then inhale, press down through the sole of the left foot. And lift the right knee towards the chest, Eka Pada Tadasana. Good. Think about lengthening the tailbone down towards the heel. Good. Deep breath in. As you exhale, cross right leg over the left, eagle legs. And then this time, right arm underneath the left. Either eagle wrapping the arms or grabbing opposite shoulders like a hug. And again, you can put the right foot on a block outside the left foot for a little more stability. And then the lower you sit, the easier it is to find that double wrap, bringing the foot behind the calf. Good. As you inhale, lift the elbows a little higher. And exhale, reach the arms forward. So really stretching between the shoulders. Inhale, breathe into that space. Exhale, sit a little lower. And then unravel. Inhale, Eka Pada Tadasana. Rewinding as you exhale, bend the left knee. And step the right leg back. High Crescent Lunge. Deep breath in here. As you exhale, plant the palms and step the left leg over towards the right. So again, instead of opening up through the chest here, we're gonna keep the chest squared down to the mat and then just lower the hips. And you'll wanna try to keep the legs straight, but if you need to bend them, that's okay. But you're gonna keep the chest facing towards the mat. And then maybe you'll bring your forearms down. You can bring your hands to your forehead as a little rest or maybe a block. Or eventually, if you're working into the full prone twisted Padangusasana, you'll bring your arms out wide, chest all the way down, maybe capture the left foot with the right hand. Good, 3 deep breaths. Inhale here. Exhale. 2 more, soften the facial muscles. And then last round of breath. Inhale, fill up. And exhale, let it go. Good to come out, you'll gently walk the hands back. Make sure hands are underneath the shoulders. Press into the palms, lift the hips. And then using the deep abdominal muscles, you'll draw the knee back in towards the chest and step it through the hands. Just 1 breath here. You'll shift the weight forward. Inhale, standing split. Then exhale, Jiva squat. So right knee tucks behind the left. You'll try to sit the hips low. Maybe hands come to blocks. Lift the chest a little higher. If you want to get that one last little kick of fire into that left hamstring, you can bring your hands to heart center behind you. Good. Last deep breath in. And exhale, you're going to lower all the way down. You can adjust as you need to. We'll arrive with our left foot outside the right thigh and right heel towards our left glute. Coming into our seated twist, left hand behind you. Inhale, right arm high to the sky. As you exhale, find your twist. So you can hook the elbow outside the knee or find that hugging in action, getting a little bit more into the outer thigh. Every inhale, find more length up through the spinal column. And every exhale, let it bring you a little bit deeper into that twist, rinsing out through the internal body. Last deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. And then gently come back through center. So we're gonna move into some more deep stretching here now. We're gonna start in a Heron Pose variation. So I'm gonna give you some options here. And I'm actually gonna turn this way so you can see what my outer leg is doing. So traditionally, you're gonna roll the calf out from underneath the thigh. And you're gonna sit back so that your butt comes inside your left ankle. and then extend the right leg out long in front of you. So sort of a half hero's pose. This might not work for everyone's knee, so if you have a pillow at home or even a block can be better. You can always come up to sit on the block. Good. From here, you're gonna plant that right foot down and bring the knee up towards the chest. And then you're gonna bring your right fingertips behind you. And you have two options. You can keep the foot on the ground and just find a seated twist here. Or if you wanna take this deeper, you'll capture the outside of the right foot with the left hand and start to straighten the leg. Lift through the chest, drop the left shoulder down, and trace the gaze back. We'll take 5, 10-second breaths here. So see if we can start to really slow down the heart rate. And also try to find equal weight through both sitting bones. Let the lifting up action start from the very low back. Good. And then gently set the foot back down if it's not already there. And then you're gonna extend the leg out long in front of you. So again, you can stay up on your pillow or block for this next part. We're gonna just sit nice and tall, reach the arms up overhead. As you exhale, you're gonna fold forward into Heron Pose. Another option here for blocks, if you're not sitting on them, is just having them to rest your forearms on so that you feel a little more supported in this stretch. So we'll be in this one for actually about 3 minutes. Really getting more into this yin practice. So remember, you don't have to go to your deepest stretch right away. Over time, the breath, the connective tissue will start to open up a little bit more. Gravity will start to kick in a little bit more. And they really do say that it takes sometimes at least even a minute for the peripheral nervous system to really signal to the muscles to surrender and release. You don't normally get that time in a vinyasa class. So every breath, see if you can move further into a state of stillness. Only moving to make mindful adjusts. Trying to avoid any sort of habitual movement here. Now, as we enter this part of class, if you ever want to stay longer in a posture, feel free to hang out for as long as you like and just join us when you're ready. If you're ready to move into our next stretch, just gently start to walk the hands back up. And what we're going to do is you're going to shift your weight forward, coming into a little bit of a lunge. And then you're going to start to toe heel the right foot over to the left edge of the mat. And we're going to set up for Pigeon Pose. So if traditional pigeon feels weird in your body, bothers your knee, just come onto your back, crossing your right ankle over the left knee, finding reclined pigeon. So getting a little bit more into the outer hips, I'm going to give you an option here for the first 5 or so breaths, just like we did in the last one, before going a little bit deeper and settling in. Before I do so, if you want to slide a block underneath the right hip for a little extra height, that's another option. So what we're going to do is you're going to walk the hands forward a little bit. And this deeper option for the first 5 or so breaths, if you want to take it, is you're going to walk the hands over towards the sole of the right foot. And then you're going to take your right elbow and bring it down into the sole of the foot and make a fist with the right hand. You're going to cup the fist with the left hand and press into it. So you find a twist here. And you'll feel that all the way down the outer right thigh. Try to relax the left shoulder down the back and reach the heart further forward in space. About 4 more deep breaths here. And you could stay in this twist as long as you like. If you want to start to walk the hands back, forward, maybe taking a little counter twist to roll that left hip down, you can. And then you can walk the hands out long in front of you. If you want to use a pillow underneath the torso to hug, you can. If you want to rest your forehead on a block or two, you can. Just find whatever works best for you so that you can settle in. So we'll be here for a little bit. And the deeper you can cultivate awareness of not just the body, but the mind, the more you can get out of this practice. So just imagine that you're a fly on the wall, observing you. Whether it feels more or less natural to be still. I think sometimes the body can more instinctively find a relaxed state, but the mind doesn't always connect that way. So seeing if you can get those two things to be congruent. Letting your awareness be the thread that sews the two together. And you'll notice if you send the breath all the way into the middle, lower back, and belly, you'll start to feel this even more. So sometimes you don't need to adjust the body to go deeper, just adjust the breath. And stay here as long as you like. Or gently start to walk the hands back up. You're just going to bend the back knee in. Maybe find a little twist to the right. And then you're going to bring the left leg out long in front of you, right knee in towards the chest so that you're sitting nice and tall. I'll turn to face you so you can kind of see. You're just going to stamp the right foot over the left thigh. And then come to the outer edge of the right foot so that the right knee crosses over the left thigh. So this is half shoelace pose. And this might be enough. If you need to put a towel between the knee and the thigh, you can. If you need to bring the sole of the foot back down, you can. Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper, this is a pretty deep outer hip stretch. You're just going to bend the bottom knee so that you're stacking your knees like two triangles with the vertices, that top tip stacked on top of one another. And you might decide just sitting nice and tall, trying to allow the shoulders to relax is challenging enough. If you're ready to go a little bit further, you can start to walk the arms forward. And again, maybe rest both forearms on blocks, or if you want to rest your forehead on a block, you can in front of the knees, or you can even come all the way down, just letting the chin rest over that right knee. Remembering that you can always start with a block, and if you start to feel more relaxed in the shape, you can go a little bit deeper as time passes. It's just finding that edge and trying to make yourself a little bit more comfortable there. Once you found that place of too much comfort, maybe going a little bit deeper, but not overextending yourself. So getting through our discomfort zone by not walking away from it, but just very gently working our way through it until it's no longer a part of our discomfort zone. Whether it's a physical thing or a mental thing. Notice if the hands are clasping, the teeth are clenching, the shoulders are shrugging. See if you can draw your awareness to all of these places and allow them to just surrender. They don't have to do any work here. Again, stay as long as you like. If you're ready to move on, you'll gently walk the hands back, unravel the legs, maybe extend them out long in front of you. Just give the knees a little shake, let the outer hips unwind a little bit. You can roll the feet in and out, that feels nice. And then we're gonna set up for our other side. So we're gonna start with that Heron Pose variation. And again, if you wanna put a block in between or inside the right ankle to add a little more height, you can. Otherwise, you can sit down inside the right ankle. Now, it helps if you shift forward and just sort of roll the calf out of the way. It helps you get a little deeper. So you're gonna have the sole of the left foot planted down, just sit nice and tall. This might be enough for you to enter that twist. If you are looking for that deeper variation, you can plant the left fingertips down and grab the outside of the left foot with the right hand and start to extend the leg out long. Think about lifting the heart space higher, dropping that right shoulder down further. Good. Finally, start to trace the gaze back. Try not to let that left foot turn inwards. Deep breath in. And big exhale. Finding those deep breaths. And now's especially a great time to reconnect to any intention you may be set. And one more deep breath in here. And then as you exhale, replant the foot down. And then you're just gonna extend the leg out long in front of you. And sit nice and tall, maybe reach the arms overhead. And exhale, fold forward in space. Again, if you wanna have forearms on blocks, you can. Or maybe forehead. We'll be here for a little while longer. So I really love Yin Yang because I really like the idea of dualities in that when you experience two halves to a whole, each side becomes more enriched by the other. Every time we experience darkness, we develop a deeper appreciation for what the daylight offers. And vice versa. So the more we can fully immerse ourselves in this side of the practice, the more we can understand and take on the other half, and vice versa. So let this yin practice help you descend deeper into the soil of your own understanding. Not being afraid or attached to anything you uncover, just taking it all in. About 5 to 10 more breaths here. And if you're ready, gently, gently start to walk the hands back. You're gonna rebend the left knee and just shift forward into your lunge. And you're gonna do as we did on the other side, just start to toe heel that left foot over to the right edge of the mat. And walk the right knee back, finding a pigeon pose. Again, you can find recline pigeon, so you can lay on your back, crossing your left ankle over the right knee, if that feels better on your knees. You can also slide a pillow or a block underneath that left hip for some support. So you can come straight into your sleeping pigeon. If you took that deeper twist for the first 5 or so breaths and want to take it on this side, you're going to walk the hands forward and gently over to the right. And then you're going to bring your left elbow down, planting it inside the sole of the left foot. Make a fist, and then just press down into the fist with the right hand, rolling the heart open, feeling this in the outer left hip. See if you can relax that right shoulder down away from the ear. About 4 more breaths here. And then gently walk back if you're ready. I like to take a little twist the other way to counteract that and just re-roll the right hip down. And then when you're ready, you'll start to walk the arms out long, either folding over a pillow under the body or resting your forehead or arms on blocks. We'll be here for a few more minutes. And when you're ready, gently start to walk the hands back. You're going to bend that back knee, just gently roll onto the outer edge of that left hip, draw it in. We'll move into shoelace. So you're going to extend the right leg in front of you this time. And just go ahead and hop that left foot over outside the right thigh. And if you want to take it deeper, you'll just go ahead and roll to the outer edge of the foot and bring the knee to stack on top of the right. Now you can stop here. This might be enough, just getting into that left outer hip. If you want to take full shoelace, you'll bend the bottom foot in and you'll have the top corners of your two triangles stacked on top of one another. So sitting nice and tall might be plenty of sensation, and you might even have a blanket or a towel between the knees. If you want to start to fold forward for the next few minutes or so, you can bring forearms down on any props you have or forehead to your block, or just bring your hands in front of you, resting your forehead over your thighs. Put another minute here. See if you can soften in, letting the tongue release from the roof of the mouth. Notice any sensations or sounds in the space around you. Start to narrow in that awareness. Closer and closer. You're starting to notice the sound of your heart beating in your chest. Breath coming in and out of your nose. The feeling every time you swallow. All these things that are always working, but we don't always notice. Ready, gently walk the hands back up. We'll just do one last option before final Shavasana. Before we do, just unravel the legs and extend them out in front of you and just let the feet go in and out. Just working some blood flow back to all the joints. Fine. So our last thing before we move into Shavasana, I'm going to give you a few options for. Now, you can do this on top of stacked pillows, or if you have blocks at home or anything with a little height, you can use that as well. But if you don't have blocks, don't worry, just stack a few pillows underneath you. So the options are, you can lift the hips and stack the blocks or your multiple pillows underneath the sacrum for a supported bridge. And once you get there, you're just going to go ahead and walk the legs out long so that you feel the torso water falling over, a little bit of opening through the hips. We've been flexing them a lot today. And you can also bring your arms overhead if you want to extend that stretch up. Another option is taking a supported legs up the wall with the blocks underneath the sacrum. And you can even scoot up next to a wall so that your legs are laying against a wall and you don't have to engage any of the muscles. And sometimes I like to rock side to side at first, just massaging the low back. A final option, which it is later, and this will elevate your heart rate a little bit before coming into Shavasana, is taking Plow or Deaf Man's Pose. So you can press your elbows down, lift the hips, and bring the feet back either to a wall behind you so you have some support, or if you can get them all the way down. You can also put a blanket under the shoulders if you need a little more height so that the head can drop back. Or maybe frame the ears with your knees. Now again, this is getting the heart a little bit higher than the head, so it is gonna raise the heart rate a little bit. So just decide what you need out of this last pose, and then see if you can commit to whatever that is. So we'll be here for a few more minutes. Wherever you are, just make it through transitioning into the shape and then come right into a still body. And then allow the mind to follow. Centering body and mind around the breath. If you're in Plow, gently support the low back down onto the mat, maybe coming through a reverse forward fold. And if you're in the C2 Dandasana variation, you'll just replant the feet down And lift the hips to slide the blocks out of the way. And you can bring your blocks or pillows underneath the knees if you want a little support in Shavasana for the low back. Then you'll just bring your palms face up by the sides of the body. Let the heart roll open. Let the eyelids close. Just allow your body to be still. Absorbing and taking in all that you experience and witness in yourself this evening. I'm going to leave you here in Shavasana so that you can carry out into the rest of the evening in this space as long as you like. Thank you all so much for practicing with me this evening. If you have any questions at all, just email me, message me. If you want to donate to Direct Relief, my Venmo is Jennifer-Clise. Otherwise, just enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you all so much for sharing this practice, your energy, and sharing your spaces with one another. Namaste.